Hi, friends. We're going to talk about the full moon in the sign of Aquarius today. So I'm just going to share my screen right quick and get right to it. Here's that chart. It'll pop up in just a second. One of the things that we are going to mainly focus on is, of course, that moon in the sign of Aquarius. The sun is in Leo. If you look over here at the aspectarian, as far as basic aspects go, it really is just the sun and the moon in this chart. Now, there's plenty of other things going on, but let's talk about the moon in Aquarius, this full moon, halfway through the monthly lunar cycle, halfway through the lunar gestation cycle. That one means 18 months from a new moon. And so let's get into what all of this represents. So, the full moon, we all know this, shows us everything that we need to see. There is really nothing to hide when we have a full moon. And having it in the sign of Aquarius, that high vibration, analytical thinking energy, this is about truth and clarity, especially around how you and we as individuals, in a sense, participate in the collective things, how we participate and be our own authentic selves in a space that is about belonging and who we belong with. And this full moon lunar events are usually very personal. So we get to play into that piece as well. So we get to decide, that full moon in Aquarius, what is my truth? What is the clarity? We get to ask ourselves, and we really need to contemplate. I mean, these things can come at you at any moment in time, of course. The ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, and it's also in an air sign. So that gives us the knowledge and the vibration of thinking and processing. And things can turn on a dime. But when it does come to full moons or any event, it's really good to take a pause and to process what's going on in your life, right? It's not just like that. It can be, but then you'll process afterward. I say that too because Mercury is just a couple days out from being direct. It goes direct on August 11th. So at this point in time, Mercury is kind of sitting still. It's not really moving too far. Let me find it. No, I don't have the exact number. It's not moving too far, right, from where it is right now on the screen, that chart on the screen. And so I'm going to actually look, give me 2 seconds here. Yeah, Mercury is at, on this date, 4 degrees and 28 minutes. And, it goes direct at, 2 minutes later. So meaning. Take time to receive the news, the knowledge, the information that's going on. Mercury and Pluto are kind of opposite right here. So during this full moon, also in an opposition. So that just gives us these opportunities for us to spend some time and thinking things through, especially through processes that we've already gone through. Now, I know I love working with the lunar gestation cycle. I cover that really deep in the written blog, which is on my website. You can sign up for the newsletter and get it right in your inbox, or just go there and check it out. But in the meantime, this access of Leo and Aquarius can be really deeply personal because that Leo is about the heart and what we're passionate about and focusing on the self and the ego, right? And that Aquarius is about a bigger picture. It's about collaborating with others and having grand ideas and, working towards a collective process. So the Leo energy of the sun, what am I passionate about? What do I desire? Where am I creative? What is it that I want to do that helps me to shine? And then that opposite energy of the moon in Leo in focusing on what's important in the collective, because the collective is made up of individuals, as we always know. We all know that, of course, but let's just be aware of that. And this full moon in Aquarius can make us incredibly aware of that, right? So, how do you stay true to yourself is something while that you can ask yourself, but how do you stay true to yourself? Let's take that further as you're participating in worldly things, right? In the world around you. Okay. If that's something that you're doing, if that's something that you're finding the energy for at this point in time, and whatever your current life circumstances are, it always creates different experiences for each of us. And so that's a piece of what that represents, right? And then I want to focus on, since we do have this full moon lunation, um, see if there is something as far as groups and associations that are working for you that you can dig into, because that's this Aquarius energy is like thinking outside, just thinking outside the box. That's just so cliche, but it's true. But thinking in a whole different way and thinking from a different perspective and trying to do that as best you can. When we have this moon and can see the moon and the sun, they are making the semi-square. Let's look at the moon first. The moon so it means it's 45 degrees away from this Neptune and Saturn conjunction. And 45 degrees is a very difficult aspect, which shows me that, and this full moon is a fixed full moon, that there can be some things that are really coming to a breaking point in the chart as we work our way up to this. And again, as a reminder, if you're feeling the Mercury retrograde strongly, some do, some don't, it's stationary. So we're, for the next few days. And so we could be feeling a fair amount of frustration. And so I want you to hone in on that and focus on that if you would. If you're feeling stuck and the frustration of it, retrograde of Mercury, as well as this full moon being a fixed zodiac sign and at a 45-degree angle to two retrograde planets, Neptune and Saturn in Aries. So we can feel the difficulty of that. And then the other semi-square which is part of this full moon, is the sun to Mars. And this is Leo and this is Libra, and the energy of these two, they are two signs away, but it's still only 45 degrees, and the energy of this can feel really frustrating. As we are simultaneously during this full moon having Mars opposite Saturn, Neptune. So the big picture of what all of this can tell me, I'm going to stop my share right now. The big picture of what this overall is telling me is that, we are looking to become more aware of what our responsibilities are in our lives, to ourselves, to what we desire, and to what we're passionate about. And then if you're driven to do this, because not everybody's driven to be an activist or be somebody out there, fighting for a cause or for less fortunate people. But if that's you, then what does that look like to you, right? Make some choices around what groups I want to be involved in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I said the same thing 3, 4 times, but I think you get the idea here. So the larger rhythm of this is about clarity, fulfilling your heart's desire, being open for things to just like boom, change. Now, I know a lot of people that are always like things are going good and they're just waiting for the shoe to drop. And uh, and that's true. That happens. And that's definitely Uranus. That's definitely the Aquarius and Uranus energy. But why can't the shoe drop and actually have it be something like nice and positive, right? Something that you've been working on for a long time, and that it brings you something that you've been desiring for a long time, and it can help the collective, if you will, and bring these things forward. Something that could be so important for all of us. Bring what forward? Bring new ideas forward, innovative things. This full moon is going to expose a lot of things that may have been hidden. We're seeing it all over the place anyways, but it'll just get more and more information. Will just help us to see clearer and clearer and clearer. But what I really like to focus on, as opposed to political and geopolitical stuff, is like, what does that mean for you? It means where are you passionate? We'll just reiterate one more time. What are you passionate about? What does your heart desire? And what drives you to help others and be accomplished in the things that you do? All right. And if you're a practicing astrologer or somebody who is an enthusiast of astrology doing stuff like this, what a wonderful way to, just to get out and start to share what your knowledge is from your perspective with others, because this is a great way to do it when we have an Aquarius vibe going on. And Aquarius rules astrology. So, anyways, I think I'm going to leave us with that. When you get to see this, I'm going to be on vacation for just a few days, unplugged completely. I hope I can unplug completely. That's the Aquarius. It just reminds us. I'll probably be back by here, but I want you guys to have this forecast, you know, ahead of time. I kind of dropped the ball at the new moon. I realized it was like 2 days before the new moon that I hadn't done it yet. But anyways, expect the unexpected with this stuff, and really be open to some new and innovative opportunities. And I'll see you next time. Blessings, everybody, and namaste.